The afternoon sun stretched in soil patches across the floor tiles, warm but dull, a lazy kind of light that felt too calm for the heaviness in Vian's chest. Lunch had passed in stiff politeness. Mrs. John fussed over Mary like a delicate proclaimed doll, always asking if she needed another cushion. Mary, 2 months pregnant but moving as if she was nearing her due date, soaked it in with smiles and soft sighs. After the table was cleaned, Mrs. John stopped halfway to the stairs before pausing and sighing. Vian, darling, would you? Of course, Vian said quietly, already stepping forward. Her feet moved before her mind caught up. She didn't want to go. Upstairs, the hallway smelled faintly of fabric softener and something floral. Mary's door was open. Vian stepped in silently. The room was soft and bright, all pastel curtains and fresh bed sheets. Mary was lounging on the bed with one hand resting. Oh, Mary said, lifting her head with a warm smile. I was not expecting a visitor. Vian held up the book. Oma sent this. Oh, how sweet of her. She could. Or sit for a moment if you are not in rush. Vian hesitated, but her hands were tired. I am really sorry about this morning, she said gently, tucking a loose strand of hair behind her ear. Vian said nothing. Mary's eyes dropped to the book, then flicked back up. It's strange, you know. Jiwoon, she continued, sighing a little. He was passionate, so gentle, but intense too, especially. Vian looked away. Mary leaned closer, lowering her voice. There was this one night we had snuck out, met at his apartment. I was nervous, you know, early days and all, but he was so patient, the way he held my waist. I could not stop shaking after, Mary added. The silence between them stretched thin. I think he was scared I would get hurt, though. They stopped, bite her lip. Sorry. Vian stared at the floor. Her throat was dry, her jaw tight. Anyway, I hope the baby has his eyes. They were so kind, were not they? She said it like a prayer. Thanks for the book, Mary added, her voice lifting like they had just talked about the weather. And really, as Vian walked back down the stairs, the walls felt narrower than before, the air heavier. But somehow, far off, quiet corner of the John family office, Jungkook glanced at the clock and without knowing why. And the Jones estate study was too ornate for Jungkook's taste. High ceilings, antique clocks. It was a museum of control. Jungkook stood near the window, one hand tucked into the pocket of his trousers. I will be leaving for New York by the end of next week. So soon, my works needs me. The board's been patient enough. What about Mary? What about her? She is carrying Jiwon's child, a child without a father. You know how this will look if it gets out. Jungkook's eye darkened. Then maybe you should have taught your son better. Mr. John flinched. But you are the only one who can, Mr. John said, straightening in his chair. You know how this world works. A bit of silence. You want me to marry the woman who paraded her affair through your house, who broke your son's marriage vows. It's not about what you want, Mr. Jones snapped. And I left the legacy when you remarried, Jungkook replied coldly. When I was 2 and you decided a new wife, a new son, a new family. That's not fair. It's not. Jungkook stepped forward. You think I left because I hated you? No, I left because I knew. Mr. Jones' jaw tightened. You want to fix this? Here's an idea. Give the child to YN. Mr. John blinked. What? You heard me. Let the child be raised by the woman Jiwon married, not the one he snuck around with. YN is your daughter-in-law. She carries your family name. It's clean, legal. It could work, he muttered, finally. But wouldn't Mari agree to that? Jungkook asked. Neither of them answered. I will speak with her before I leave, but don't mistake my presence here as submission. You will come back. Jungkook paused at the door, maybe, but now, as the sharp edge of Mari's game scratched the corners of YN's soft silence, not just how she looked that morning in black silk, not just the pain quietly etched in her eyes, but how he still carried. The living room was empty, save for the quiet hum of the air conditioner and the scent of lemon polishing clinging to the furniture. He walked through the brisk steps, loosening the buttons. I am sorry, YN said quickly, nearly bumping into him as she rounded the corner from the kitchen. A small tray of clean glasses wobbled in her hands. I didn't see you, she added, stepping back slightly, gaze flickering to the floor, as she had done something wrong. That word, sorry, too felt, too automatic. At the way her lips pressed together, trying too hard to seem fine. Why did her voice always sound so distant, detached, like she was not even here? You have done, always have to apologize. I didn't mean to, she began. You didn't, it's fine. But it was not the way her presence lingered when she left, not the way she looked at him like he was always on the other side of some invisible glass. Oppa, the voice was too sweet. Mari entered the room in a flowing pale blue dress that somehow emphasized her stomach, even though it was barely a curve yet. I was thinking maybe a short drive today. The doctor said I could walk a bit and I am getting stiff from staying in all. Mari tilted her head, but it's not the same. You will be fine, he said simply. There was no warmth in it. Mari's lips twitched, too brief for a smile, too slow for a pout. From behind, YN felt it all like storm brushing past, but never touching her directly. She stood there a moment longer than needed, pretending to rearrange the glasses. The night was quiet, not the kind of silence that comfort, but the kind that echoed back all the things you tried to forget. YN sat on the swing in front garden, hot enough to escape it. The lamps near the driveway glowed a muted amber. Soft shadows stretched across the tilted path. Everything else was wrapped in hush. No one stopped her. Mr. and Mrs. John long gone upstairs. She didn't know where he was, or maybe she did. Her eyes did not lift, but her skin felt it, the weight of something unseen, like she was being watched. I still remember how he used to trace my jaw with his thumb before he kissed me. The way he held my waist, whispered my name. It was not about Jiwon, not really. It was about wanting to be wanted, to be held like this, to be seen like that, to have fingers trail the shape of her cheekbone. And yet, Tonight, as she lay back on the swing and let her head tilt toward the sky, something ached deep beneath her skin. She wanted to know what it felt like. Her palm curled around the edge of the cushion beneath her nails, lightly scraping the fabric as if anchoring herself to this earth, this reality. Above, unseen by her, Jungkook leaned against the iron railing of his bedroom balcony, one hand in pocket of his slacks, other wrapped loosely. The glass caught the moonlight in quiet sparks, but he was not looking at the drink, he was looking at her. He had meant to change, maybe finishing some calls, but his eyes landing on her figure below, curled on the garden swing like a forgotten echo of something soft. She looked like she did not belong here, not because she did not fit, but because the house had never earned someone like her. Jungkook watched Wyan shift slowly on the swing, the night's weight clearly pressing into her shoulders. He should have gone back inside, closed the curtains, and then she stood or tried to. Her foot hit the edge of the swing platform, and he saw it, the way her ankle turned slightly, the falter in her step. Her hands immediately stripped the chains on either side. Pain etched across her brow. Jungkook did not think, did not hesitate. He turned from the balcony, left his untouched drink on the desk. In the kitchen, he grabbed a small towel from the counter. The front garden was quieter now. A breeze moved through the trees, brushing past the rose vines and curling around the white swing. He crouched in front of her, silent and gently held out the makeshift ice pack. Her eyes went. "I am fine," she said quickly, voice low. "It's just a small twist. I will be okay in a minute." Jungkook did not respond. Instead, he reached forward, slow but certain, and lifted her foot by the heel. "Hold still," he said, barely above a whisper. "I said it's fine. I heard you." His voice was calm. He pressed the ice pack gently over her swollen ankle. She flinched, not from the cold, but from the contact. Her breath hissed, and she bent down the inside of her cheek to hide it. Hot warmth that spread through her skin, just from his touch, not the slight rasp of his thumb as it brushed over her ankle bone. "Is that too much pressure?" he asked to her. She shook her head too quickly. "No, it's okay." Jungkook gave a single nod, gaze falling back down, but not before catching the flush that crept up her neck. His jaw clenched slightly. She looked away. Feel the shape of his concentration, the weight of his presence. It was like her senses had sharpened suddenly, painfully. Even brush of his knuckle, every shift in his breath. And when he looked up again, when their eyes met, she could not move. Not really. She knew it was not right. This was not a moment meant to stretch. But something about him, kneeling in front of her, silently tending to her pain, like it mattered to him, like she mattered, began to undo something inside her. Just a second, just a glance, but it was enough, because now it was all she could see. The soft shape of his lips, the way they parted slightly as he exhaled, the faint tension in his jaw that always seemed to stay there. She should have stopped herself. She should have looked away, said thank you, gone inside, but she did not. Jungkook froze. His eyes met hers again, sharp and still, trying to read her. Wyan, he said, a low warning, not harsh, just confused, surprised. But then her lips brushed his, hesitant, quiet, searching like she was testing a line she knew she should not cross. And for one suspended second, everything else dissolved. The house, the name she shared with his dead brother. Only the feel of his breath against hers, only the way his lashes fluttered slightly, only the way his chest nearly cracked open with the sheer ache of being this close to something she had never known she needed. But then her hand dropped from his face like it had burned her. I am sorry, she whispered, voice cracking like thin proclaim. I did not mean. Jungkook did not move. His hands were still steady on her ankle. His breath deep but controlled. His brows had pulled slightly together, angry, offended, stunned. No one's ever touched me like that, she said, voice barely a whisper. The words tasted wrong the moment they left her mouth. She tried to stand, winced, and immediately Jungkook steadied her with a hand on her thigh and one arm under her shoulder. Stop, he said, you will make it worse. But she could not stay. Not like this, not in the fragile bubble where her heart was live wire and he was the only one. I am sorry, she said again, breathed, shaking. Jungkook did not answer, did not touch her again. He only stood, slowly, eyes never leaving her, and then he handed her the ice pack and walked back into the house, his shoulders tight. I am sorry, she said again, breathing, shaking. Jungkook did not answer, did not touch her again. He only stood slow, eyes never leaving her, and then he handed her the ice pack and walked back into the house. But for the first time since coming to this house, he was not sure how long he could keep walking away.